Hi, Paula. Yeah, I was noticing.
Chakra has manifested. So
Okay,
is it okay if I was so hungry? I went to
absolutely, no worries. That's fine.
breakfast and went to the beach with the dogs. It was so beautiful.
Nice.
When it's low tide, there is one beach you can walk to the island. Uh,
Wow.
It's amazing. You have like huge marshland, sandy marshland, and then yeah, and then on the way back, I was in the water like over the hips.
Uh-huh.
The dogs had to swim the whole time. It was nice.
Beautiful. Great.
It's very interesting. When I sleep less, I feel more energized.
Oh, yeah?
I'm discovering a new, I don't know, I feel very energized generally at the moment, very productive. Many people are in process, and I'm just like, dum, dum. It's good.
Yeah. So I suppose that could mean that, well, a couple of things it could mean, that sleeping less leaves you feeling that way. Either you used to be sleeping more than you need to, and you found a more optimal amount of sleep, or it could be an unsustainable adrenaline reaction. So, but
I
yeah, maybe you're finding a more optimal sleep quantity.
feel like tired less has been being tired. I mean, has been my ego through like almost my whole life, and it seems to only get better now. Where I'm consciously working on not complaining when I'm feeling tired, like not being like nah, nah, nah,
Yeah,
grumpy.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I slept 8 hours, should be enough, but I got up early. So actually, I didn't have few sleep only. I had 8 hours. I thought I had, okay. Yeah,
Did you go to bed earlier then?
at 10.
Oh yeah, that really helps. It's a good time. Yeah, I think we generally have. It seems that people generally have the habit of going to bed later than is optimal, which then leads to need to sleep longer to recover because we overdo each day.
Yeah, and
Um,
it depends also what I'm doing before, because sometimes I watch a movie in bed
yeah,
and next day I don't feel good. And when I don't watch it, when I stay away from the computer, I mean, mobile phone seems to be okay to just be a little bit, but it's much better. So I don't know if they transport, is there if something like strange vibrations in the movies or no.
yeah. It can also be that we need some time to process our experiences, and even if we're just sitting comfortably watching a movie, there's still it stimulates the mind to the point where we ideally need some time to process all of that, let it settle down. Otherwise, our sleep will be working on that, and we won't get quite the same level of rest.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I try not to watch movies in bed anymore before sleeping. Just earlier, and then I just go, yeah, just have the bed only for sleeping. So I think that's good.
Yeah, energetically clean.
Mm.
Closing a few windows, helping to optimize Zoom. All right. Would you like to start with any questions or sharing?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I didn't have time to rewatch, but I think in the end it was clear. It's better to rewatch it after a couple of days
Yeah.
to
Okay.
repeat. Mm.
Okay.
No, I don't have anything specific now.
Okay. Well, we could do, like we did last time, a short round of GraceFlow breath work, the rebirthing style, connected breathing, and then some Kundalini Pranayama. We could do 7 minutes of each.
Mhm.
7 minutes? Last time we did 3 minutes, was it? 3 minutes. Um, yeah, let's do.
No, didn't you say 3 minutes is too short or something?
Um, no, I think I said 3 breaths was too short, but we did
Ah,
three
okay.
minutes of each last time. Um, because I remember, in fact, that I was taking about 30, I was taking about half a minute for each breath. And so in approximately 3.5 minutes, I did 7 Kundalini pranayamas. I think that's so we can let's do 5 minutes of each.
Okay.
I'm just going to get a cushion.
Oh.
And if you feel it would be helpful, you can begin with the 20 connected breaths, or just go straight into the connected grace flow breathing. 5 minutes with the GraceFlow breathing. And we can do the 5 of the Kundalini Pranayama. That was 5 minutes. About 6 minutes, actually. Would you like to share what's present for you? What came to awareness? What you notice?
It's definitely recommended to do it with the empty stomach, not like the last time I had a full stomach. Yeah. And
You
then
know,
I also feel more because my body is not busy with digesting.
yeah,
I feel, yeah. That's the um, rebirthing, the graceful flow breath is still more um, my brain is not working anymore now.
it's okay.
It feels more natural to me still.
Yeah,
More, it's almost like I've always done this. It's so familiar.
yeah,
This, yeah. Whereas the other one is like, yeah.
yeah,
The Kundalini Pranayama still feels I need more discipline, more focus to until it's integrated. But
yeah,
probably I said this right. Probably practice more regularly.
yeah,
But I felt, yeah, I felt the energy flowing immediately.
You've paused for a moment. I'm not sure what's
If
happened. Sorry, you froze for a moment. You said that
okay.
the
When I do
Kundalini.
the GraceFlow practice, my mind shuts off immediately. I don't have to do anything.
Great.
Whereas the other one, I was sometimes drifting away, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, forgetting things like to focus on the light or yeah." So,
Okay.
but the first time I wanted to um, sound the I was like, I'm starting to count all of a sudden. I was like, why I'm counting? It's supposed to be an not 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's normal, no, when you learn something new. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's happened to me before also of counting the ohms, and I was ended up focusing on the count instead of the quality of the ohm.
Yeah, I was focusing more now. I'm improving. So this I can say. Even my mind was flying, but I'm improving the pranayama technique. And I was focusing more on like sounding the longer and like really yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to share?
No, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to suggest experimenting with an adapted version of the Kundalini Pranayama,
Hmm.
where you combine in the inhalation and the movement, the current up the Sushumna Nadi, you combine the light with Om, and you don't pause the breath. You don't hold
Now
the
you
breath.
offer.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
you're big.
Okay. So I'm going to suggest a variation, an adaptation of the Kundalini Pranayama, where as you inhale, you draw the breath up, draw light up the Sushumna Nadi, and you experience it as Om and as light going up the Sushumna Nadi. You don't
Okay.
pause. You don't pause the breath at the end of the inhalation. You just bring the breath down again with the Om and light bringing down the Sushumna Nadi. So it's a connected breathing, really, with Om, with the Sushumna Nadi, with light, but without the, let's say, the effort of holding the breath. It's a constant current of Om and light up and down the Sushumna Nadi. Let's do that for 3 minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
I go to the crown.
Up to the
Oh,
crown, but not stopping the breath.
yeah.
Yeah, up to the crown. Yeah, if it feels, you're asking if it should be just up to the third eye. Is that what you were saying? Yeah, notice if because of practices that you've done before and that you've become accustomed to, if it feels like going only as far as the third eye is what feels natural to you, then you can do that also. Okay, so because the purpose of this adaptation is to see what feels more natural and fluid and effortless. And if going to the third eye is what also feels effortless and natural to you, then experiment with that. Okay, let's do 3 minutes of this practice and then
Okay.
see how we feel. How does this adapted Kundalini Pranayama feel for you?
It still requires multitasking.
Uh-huh.
Somehow.
Still some
The
effort, some.
Om feels natural to go up and down with the Om, but then I have difficulties to imagine the light at the same time, so it
Yeah,
needs practice.
yeah, okay.
Some years ago, I always said maybe I'm a little bit autistic because I cannot always do multitasking with my mind, but it depends how I am. Yeah.
It's you could also see if it feels more natural to, rather than focusing on light moving up and down, visualize the whole Sushumna Nadi as light, as a pillar of light, and the arm is moving up and down within the pillar. If that's easier, you can try that also.
Okay.
Let's try just three breaths of that. Just 3 breaths.
Okay.
How does that feel?
It's a little bit easier. Although then sometimes my mind focuses on the Om, and then, I mean, I just have to trust that the light is there, even if I don't
Yeah.
recognize it.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think I've told you the story of how I lived for a while with a couple of people who were very clairvoyant, and every day one of them would describe to me my energy, my aura, what was happening with my energy, colors and shapes and whatever else. And at first, I couldn't see it or feel anything that corresponded with what she was saying. So I had no idea if what she was saying was real. I kind of trusted her just as a general feeling, but I didn't have my own direct experience of what she was describing. But after months of every day, several times a day, she was describing my energy to me, I started to notice the different sensations and what classification she gave to them. So I started to know what colors she would see because I could tell what different vibrations were, different qualities. And but what I was actually going to share was this. This relates just like a background story, really. But when one day I decided to, once I realized that what she was seeing was real in that sense, right? That I could actually feel it myself, even though I wasn't seeing it as color. I decided to test whether I was able to actually do the kriyas properly, like drawing energy up and down, because I'd been doing it for years without feeling it very distinctly, or just wondering, like, am I doing this properly? Am I doing anything effective at all? And then without telling her what I was doing, I did the Kriya Pranayama, and she described energy moving up and moving down. And I finally thought,
You tested her without telling her.
huh? Yeah,
You tested her.
yeah, yeah. And so I felt very relieved that I had been not wasting years doing this practice, because I really didn't know until then that I was actually moving energy effectively, but she could see it. So it's
I
okay.
feel the energy moving. I feel the energy moving. Even if I just imagine the pillar of light, there's something happening already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Even if our focus goes away from this pillar of light, because we're moving more our attention to the current of breath, the fact that we're in some sense holding space, holding in our awareness, even if it's in the background of our awareness for a moment, this vision, this idea of Sushumna Nadi alive and bright, even if it sometimes fades into the background of our awareness while we're focusing on the Om, the energy moving up and down, it's still, in some sense, it's still held, and it's still there, empowered with the practice, even when it's more subtle. For me, this last one was the most potent in a way, because, like you, I feel the Kundalini Pranayama a bit of an effort. Maybe the holding of the breath is the main part that feels like it's an effort. And because that's a bit of an effort, then the rest doesn't feel quite as relaxing. The rest of the breathing doesn't feel as relaxing because of the holding of the breath part. And this fluid movement up and down with the Sushumna Nadi as this kind of constant light pillar, or channel, for me was the most potent. It combined the potency of energy with relaxation, a sense of grace in a kind of an optimal way for me. So you can
What is the?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you can experiment with variations and seeing what's natural for you, because you identified the GraceFlow breathing as felt like you've always done it. It felt that natural. So if you can find that quality of naturalness and find how can you potentiate it, empower it without making it an effort, like a minimal tweak that empowers the practice without it turning into a kind of a distracting effort where you start to wonder, like, am I doing it right? Where it still feels natural, but you're building potency of the practice.
Okay. Yeah. I would have to practice.
Yeah, and we just did 3 of the breaths of this last one. So it's possible that if we prolonged it for a few more minutes, just a couple of minutes, that it would start to feel easy and natural, that we didn't give it much time to settle into it, So I invite you to do that as your homework, to play around with this. You could call it a GraceFlow Pranayama, GraceFlow Kundalini Pranayama.
What is the direct purpose of the Kundalini Pranayama? Is it to learn to be able to move the energy, to learn that, or to activate the Kundalini?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. So I would even begin by saying, let's assume we've already experienced some degree of Kundalini awakening, and that we're not trying from zero to awaken it. We're trying to keep the channel as clear as possible. So we're making it easy for it to flow spontaneously by directing it consciously, right? So by keeping a clear channel, which the Om, the light, the current of the breath we're dissolving resistance to its natural flow. If we think of the Sushumna Nadi and the chakras as some of the core constituents of our consciousness coming into manifestation, the kind of primordial form through which consciousness is manifesting, the Sushumna and the chakras, then what we're doing by moving the attention up and down the Sushumna with light, with Om, is bringing awareness to this very fundamental place of consciousness where our past experiences have aggregated a certain amount of density, patterns, undigested stuff. And so we're clearing. You could think of it as clearing karma, clearing conditioning, bringing light to the shadow. Whatever is in the subconscious but still influencing us is shadow in a sense. You could say even ego in a sense, right? Unconscious drives, unconscious motivations, unconscious complexes, things that have complexified within us and in a way that is unclear, unconscious to us. And so we're clearing that, and that itself helps for Kundalini to flow easily, spontaneously, even when we're not doing the practice, because it just becomes the path becomes clearer and clearer. The experience becomes more and more familiar to the point where it can arise spontaneously.
Do you hear the barking? No.
No.
Just testing, because my dog, she wants to come inside and she's protesting in front of the door.
Okay.
And the Sushumna, I sometimes feel, or when I imagine the light, it's in the Kundalini Pranayama, is going up and down my spine.
Yeah.
When I feel in some practice, like when the energy is really strong, then I feel like a really big channel of, I feel like the energy is going through like a really broad channel.
Yeah. Okay.
I never see light really then. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. The light is it's a reference. It's in a way it's an analogy, because it's not the kind of light our eyes see anyway, right? But you could say that light we associate light with a feeling of clarity, a feeling perhaps of spaciousness and expansion. Love, yeah. So when we are imagining or visualizing or holding space for that experience, even if what comes are the subtle qualities associated with it, not the image so much, but the fact that we're holding space for that helps to evoke the qualities, and that's empowering the energy, and that is clearing the space, that is creating expansion with or without the clear image.
But the Sushumna Nadi, is it along the spine or is it bigger?
Right. So it's considered usually to be very, very fine, or at least so there are different. Let's review something that's let's say, a technical question, because the word Shushumna is used in different ways in different texts, in different traditions, and so there isn't a single. Say again?
To make it more easy, to make it easier, I
Right.
say.
There, in so much of this, the answer to every question is it depends.
Yeah.
So, in some contexts, Shushumna refers to an energy channel within the vertebral column, within the spine. So it's smaller than the spine and within the spine. That's one way that it's described, let's say. But in some traditions, the word Shushumna is used as an equivalent for the physical spine, the actual vertebral column. And when that is the case, when in a tradition that actually is referring to the physical spine as Shushumna, they then refer to interior channels within the Shushumna. Brahmanadi, Vajranadi. So then they're referring to channels within the Shushumna. And the emphasis then becomes on those inner channels. The phenomenon you described of this broader channel of energy or channel of light can mean partly that you're experiencing a kind of zooming in to the energy body. So unless you're actually really seeing the physical body and a broad channel within it, which maybe that's what you're experiencing.
Yes.
You are experiencing.
My body does not disappear. There's still the boundaries of the body, and I just feel the energy like really going from the root, like really going.
Yeah.
And then there comes the sound also from the root.
Yeah. Okay. So when we experience energy rising, and it can influence the body to undulate, because there's a whole electromagnetic or bioelectric current that creates contractions in the muscle, like rhythmic contractions in the muscles, creating undulation in the spine. That's not going to happen with only a very fine current in the Shushumna. That's a broader current that's influencing the body more broadly. You could think of the value of bringing the attention all the way into this fine central channel, is that you're concentrating the potency for the purpose of cleansing really deep. It's like you're going to the most primordial causal level of your energy body. And by bringing your attention all the way into the most primordial level, you're coming back to, let's say, the purest expression of consciousness energy. Beyond that central channel, there are emanations of energy. You're at a more externalized, manifest level. And then if you bring it all the way in, you're potentiating pure unconditioned consciousness energy to flow.
It also feels very broad when it's subtle. There can be huge amounts.
Yeah.
It's like, since I figured out how to relax the solar plexus, it's just going through somehow.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like that's perfect. There's energy flowing freely, and so you don't need to improve that necessarily, right? But what you can experiment with, if you like, is with your tongue, for example, bringing the tongue up to the roof of the mouth, the Kachari Mudra, or further back even, but that's going to help to concentrate right in the central channel. If you
Okay. Yeah.
activate the Kachari Mudra, the Mula Bandha, that's going to help to draw the attention right there to the central channel.
Okay.
And that way you can mobilize all this energy that's flowing into the central channel even more, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
But enjoy it, relax into it. Don't think of it as like work that has to be done to improve the energy flow. Just experiment with it playfully so that you remain in the pleasurable, expansive feeling. You don't need to, let's say, contract around this idealization. Just play with it, and you might find that it's that you can find a potency that is still enjoyable and fluid.
Okay.
I mentioned the Mula Bandha at the perineum or at the vulva. You can, I mentioned that, and the Kachari Mudra. You can also draw your eyes upwards towards the third eye, so they're looking upwards and inwards, and that will also draw energy to the center, and without turning it into work or an effort. You can also experiment ultimately with the Uddiyana Bandha, also in the abdominal contraction, so that again you're drawing energy kind of inwards, upwards. You're gathering it and directing it, and by drawing the chin in, you don't have to bring it all the way down to the chest, but by drawing the chin in, you're also helping the energy to flow through the spine. So these postural and muscular contractions, adjustments, you can experiment with how that might draw the energy in and kind of potentiate it around the Sushumna Nadi. A way to help to make it just, let's say, potent and at the same time soft and pleasurable, expansive as well as concentrated, which sounds like a contradiction, right?
You were frozen. You were just frozen. It's my internet connection, actually. Now I just got a message.
Okay. A way to help to combine the quality of expansiveness with the concentration of energy, the empowerment of the energy, is to experience it with the energy of the smile, the heart connection, the raised eyebrows, so that you're not concentrating in a tense way. You're inviting the energy into this, let's say, intimate flow within the central channel, but you're not tightening. You're creating a receptivity and allowing for the energy to reach this central channel, giving it the opportunity to flow there, but you're not tightening in an effortful way. So the energy of the smile can help for it to be a process that, even with these postural adjustments, these muscular contractions, the bandhas and so on, you can still find a way to bring in these techniques in a way that is soft, in a way, feels graceful still. to the extent that you're familiar with the practices because you do them often, the easier it becomes to do them without a feeling of effort. And the more they actually arise spontaneously.
Mm.
The same way that the energy flow can create a spontaneous undulation in the body, the bandhas can arise as a kind of spontaneous contraction of the muscles. Like the Kundalini is guiding the process.
Mm.
You know, the Kundalini flow itself is bringing about the bandhas. Even the movement of the tongue, the movement of the eyes. And so we apply the techniques gently as a way to align with the natural flow of Kundalini, not with the intention and the attitude of pushing, but of alignment,
Mm-hmm.
receptivity. Anything you'd like to share before we complete for today?
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. If you have a chance to do some of this experimenting, playing around with it, and I like to use the word play because it gives a softness to it, you know, an expansiveness to it, rather than the contractiveness that can come with the idea of discipline. The energy flows playfully.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, as a Capricorn, I don't have problems with discipline, but
right,
yeah, I need to learn actually more. I had to learn to be more playful, not so serious all the
right.
time.
Okay, okay. So play with it and
Yeah.
make notes if you can. Make notes because it'll be interesting to bring the subtle aspects of the practice into awareness by taking notes.
Okay. Good.
And this may be something that then you'll be sharing with other people. And so your notes could be useful to you as well, because it'll be even more evident to you what the challenges are, what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
All right. Big hug to you.
Ciao, Peter.
See you Monday. Big hug.
Monday. Ciao.
Ciao.